I'm Israeli, and I hate wars. Why doesn't Israel want ceasefire in the face of these images? Hasn't Israel bombed enough? These questions are trending on social media. So let me simplify everything for you and debunk the misconceptions portrayed by the mainstream media. First of all, these images are bad. Don't get me wrong. And every Israeli would agree with me. No one wants Palestinian civilians to get hurt, just as we don't want Israeli civilians to get hurt, right? And let me clarify. If you're watching this video and wishing for civilians to get hurt on any side, be it Israeli or Palestinian, you are definitely on the wrong side. In October 6, these images you saw didn't exist. In October 6, there was a ceasefire. However, it was interrupted in October 7 after Hamas savages invaded Israel and brutally murdered civilians, raped women, burnt houses, and took hostages back to Gaza. In October 7, Israel was attacked. More Jews were murdered in October 7, 2023 than any other day since the Holocaust. Let it sink in. Hamas left Israel no choice but to wage war in order to protect its citizens. It's important to understand that Israel's response is not driven by a desire for war, but rather by the need to defend its people from terrorist attacks. The mainstream media often fails to provide a full context of the situation, leading to misconceptions and biased narratives. Palestinian civilians are suffering, but Hamas bears the responsibility as it started this war by murdering 1,400 Israelis in one day. If that happened in your country, the response would be similar. Let's take a look at some examples. United States. After the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the United States launched military operations in Afghanistan in order to dismantle Al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban regime that harbored them. The goal was to ensure the safety and security of American citizens. France. In response to the 2015 Paris attacks carried out by ISIS, France conducted airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria. United Kingdom. Following the 2000 London bombings, the UK took action against terrorism. They also deployed military forces to Afghanistan in order to disrupt and dismantle extremist groups. So, let me understand the math. When other countries are attacked, they are allowed to fight back, but when Israel is attacked, it cannot defend its citizens? But of course, children don't care about these facts, be it Israeli or Palestinian. They just want to live. And we have seen that despite the ongoing conflict, Israeli troops prioritize the well-being and safety of all civilians, including Palestinian children. I have a friend in Israel Defense Forces who sent me this video of him providing humanitarian aid, including food and medical assistance to Palestinian citizens in the Gaza Strip. In stark contrast, when Hamas terrorists invaded Israel, they showed no regard for human life, particularly that of innocent children. They committed cold-blooded murders of Israeli children. Instead of caring for children, Hamas is using children in a war zone. I mean, literally, this is what Hamas is teaching Palestinian children, brainwashing them to become the next terrorists. We need to break this cycle of hate. When Israel sends humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, Hamas militants steal it, leaving Palestinians empty-handed. Gaza looks like this today, but it didn't look like this in October 6. The buildings were still standing. Palestinians lived their lives until Hamas, the governing authority in Gaza, has decided that it's a priority to carry out the deadliest attacks on Jews since the Holocaust, and by that, deciding the fate of Gaza. Since 2005, Gaza received $40 billion in aid. Where is all this money? Just to give you context, the Dubai Metro cost $7.8 billion. The only metro in Gaza is that terror tunnel metro that Hamas built at the cost of Palestinian civilians. You know what's also a fact? That Israel is not the underdog. Israel is a strong nation. As Israelis, we do not need to apologize for having the ability to defend ourselves. Like any other sovereign country, it's our duty to defend our people from terrorist attacks and to ensure their well-being. No country would allow terrorists on its borders. But the strength of the Jewish nation, does not only lie in our military capabilities, but rather in our spirit and determination to live in peace and harmony. We want peace, but the only way peace can be achieved is when radicals are out of the picture. Israel is doing the world a favor by eradicating yet another ISIS branch that carries a radical ideology of destruction and terror. Remember, cameras can only see one angle, and it's often decided by the reporting journalist. It's that easy to distort facts and create a whole new biased story that portrays one side while negating the other. So in a world filled with lies, misconceptions, and fake news, it's important to get the facts right. The truth is more important than gold in our era. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.